You're watching BBN Tonight on your official UK sports station, LEX18. Presented by Central Bank, the official bank of UK athletics.
Welcome back to BBN Tonight. In a year plagued by COVID-19, the college football bowl season is more unpredictable than other years.
Yeah, today I had the chance to talk with bowl expert Nick Carparelli about possible scenarios and all about bowl games for not just Kentucky, but all of college football. Well, Nick, we say it a lot, but this is a strange year. How is it affecting bowl games for this season?
Well, it's been strange for everyone, including us. I think the uncertainty is probably the hardest part for everybody, and definitely for us. You know, there's been a lot of decisions made, you know, from the summer in terms of when teams were allowed to practice to when the regular season started. We saw conferences start at different times and play a different number of games, and I think that one of the hardest parts for the entire bowl system and each of the individual executive directors was just being patient and being flexible. You know, we played a very minimal role in the decision-making process, you know, and our role was simply to be there when the season ends to provide the great postseason opportunity that we always do. And I think our people have done a pretty good job of that so far.
So typically 43 postseason games. Do you know exactly how many we're down at this point and how that could affect some things?
Yeah, we're down, 43. Yep, we're down 10. So there's going to be 33 plus the championship game. Probably shouldn't be shocked at that. You know, as the regular seasons progress, we've seen a handful of cancellations week to week. And I think those bowl games that elected to postpone this year's game to next year, probably aren't a big surprise. You know, you saw a couple off the mainland, a couple in California, New York City, El Paso, Texas. I mean, they're locations that are really struggling with the virus. So those probably shouldn't be a surprise. But, hopefully, knock on wood, we're at a point in time with the 33 that are scheduled. We see those games get played.
Do you worry at all? I know the University of Kentucky said this week they're going to have to talk about it and decide if they really want to accept a bowl bid. Could you see some teams maybe not go to a bowl this year just because it's so difficult on teams and probably is going to be going straight down, playing a game and coming right back, and maybe some time in between their last game to that bowl game? Could you see some teams not opting to go to a postseason?
I could certainly see that and would understand it. Every team's in a different situation based on who they are, based on their history, based on what their season looked like, based on, where they are in their program's development. I think you see that in normal years. Some teams are more excited to go to bowl games than others. I mean, we're down 10 games, which is 20 opportunities. I don't think there's a team in the country that's played 12 regular season games. Some will only play half that many. So the people I've spoken to, the vast majority of teams really cherish the opportunity to play one extra game, especially for the seniors on those rosters. I mean, most of them, this is going to be the last football game they play in their life. They've been playing it their entire life, and they've had, their hopes and dreams of playing at the highest level and playing in bowl games. We felt a tremendous sense of obligation to do everything we can to hold these games so that they can experience that one last time.
You mentioned being down 10 games, and the ACC seems to be one of those leagues that's hurt the hardest from some of their typical games that they would go to, bowl games. Could you see maybe ACC getting a chance to go to some games that they don't typically go to, or other leagues going to games they don't typically go to?
Yeah, we talked about, an individual institution's decision, whether it's best for them to participate or not. I think you're seeing conference by conference different approaches to it as well. The SEC has been very bullish on wanting these bowl opportunities for their entire lineup if possible. And I think the ACC is probably the next conference in line that is embracing the opportunities to go to bowl games. So I do think for sure if there are some teams in some conferences that say, this might not be for us this year, you're going to have other teams that jump in and say, hey, we'll give us that spot. We'll take it.
And normally people might be up in arms if there was like maybe a four-win team going to a bigger bowl than another team. But I think you're going to see regional kind of games this year, aren't you?
For sure. I think, this is one of those years where you kind of throw record out the window. I think regionality makes a lot of sense. There might be some room for some traditional rivalry games that could not have been played this year that maybe we could see rekindled in a bowl game that might be exciting for fans. So, yeah, I don't think anybody's going to nitpick over the slotting of the games this year. I think the opportunity alone is going to be what they're excited about.
Nick, thanks so much for your time. Appreciate it.
Yep, anytime.
Good stuff, and I mean, you said it. Those practices are key.
They're
so
huge.
I think that's why Kentucky would want to go. Stay right there.
You're watching BBN Tonight.